Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're so pleased that you are with us today. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Shout out to our brothers that's in the digital building that's always holding us down as well. We're so pleased that you are with us today. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into this power-packed hour. A couple of different things that I'm going to have to hit up today. Y'all know I missed some days last week because of this extreme honor I had of attending the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's address to the world. Was so pleased to receive an invitation from his office. We attended, and I'm telling you, it was cosmic. It was cosmic. So there are several shows last week and some this week that I missed. So I want to hit on a couple of things real quick. Black family, but again, a little bit of housekeeping. As you come in, please come in giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Would you do that? Also, please text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Of course, the reason why we ask that you come in giving us the thumbs up, liking, and sharing is because, beloved, it helps us to draw other folk into our broadcast. And we know how Black media works. It's up to us to elevate our own voice, to broadcast, to do our advertising, and you know it is a family affair as we engage in that. So that's why we ask that you do that. Also, we want you to know that we have a store, shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Let's get ready to get into our topic today, beloved. Now, let me tell y'all something. You do understand that and I'm never going to let you forget it. Just get used to it. We are still in holy uprising. Holy uprising. The Black resistance. The Black resistance is still underway. And it is a holy time. We've already discussed the fact that when we use the word holy, we know that it evokes thoughts of religion and spirituality, which I have no problem with. Because when you understand who the real God is, I need somebody Black. And when you understand who the devil is, you don't have a problem with that. So when you resist white supremacy, when you resist murder, theft, and fraud and bloodshed, how many of you all know that's a holy thing? That's a holy thing. Moreover, we know it is written. Somebody say it's written. In the holy text, resist the devil. And what'll happen? He'll flee. So don't forget that we are in a holy time, a consecrated, set apart time of divine resistance. Why? Because there was a changing of the guards. And I know that the Black family is under tremendous pain and labor. But remember, I keep reminding you that this pain is going to pay off because these are what? Labor pains. Somebody talk Black to me. We're birthing a new world where we will rule based on freedom, justice, and equality. Somebody talk Black to me. With that being said, we're at a stage again of another bussy. Another buttery bussy bite. We're dealing with some more buttery bussy bites. Today, we're dealing with the bussy bites again. Buttery bussy bites. All over again. And let me take a drink of water before I say this next thing. See, this is war, so we don't have time to play. This is not just a regular kind of bussy. we're dealing with today. You'll recall I did a show on this particular one. But this particular buttery bussy bite we're dealing with today is a thorough bussy. God, today, somebody say thorough. Thorough. It's a thorough. And so we're going to have to address some things. How many of y'all remember the situation some time ago with, what's his name? Christian Cooper. I'm going to make sure I'm saying his name right. I believe it's Christian Cooper. It's in a park. Black man, bird watching in New York. This white woman this soft terrorist, remember I've been calling all of these white women terrorists, all these Karens and Beckys and stuff. Remember we called them soft terrorists because they're going around the globe, specifically America, especially in the United States, doing what? Terrorizing black people, activating the systems of white supremacy to attack us. These white women, as I have said for a long time, are not innocent. What they do is not benign. It is malignant. They're malefactors walking about the earth. They are terrorists. So that's the reason why we call them soft terrorists. And they played a historical role in the death and destruction of black people and black property. Somebody talk black to me. Now, with that being said, after she was captured, framing him. Somebody say framing him. It was a frame up. Shout out to you, Victor. Shout out to you, Diane, for your gifts. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Oh, Diane said 61 and still learning. Thank you, Victor. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, my beloved supporter of FlyNubianQueenTV.com and the Vicky Show. Thank you so very much. Listen. So this God knew something was so serious with the situation. Watch this. What did he do? He started to record it. Did he not, family? This white woman attempted to frame him for a crime that could have caused his death or his incarceration, an unjust sentence. It was so serious that he did what? He started to record. And so now we've been putting a lot of pressure on the powers that shouldn't be, demanding that these white soft terrorists be held accountable for making fraudulent calls, fraudulent claims, setting people up, trying to frame people. Is that right? So now that they're actually engaged in an investigation, let me give you the latest on what he's talking about. Then I want to juxtapose that with something that went down while I was out of town on the 4th of July. Some of y'all heard about it. This black militia, NFAC, is that right, black family? That marched on Georgia, a Confederate Memorial Park. Oh, I want to talk about that here. And I want us to analyze and examine these two opposites. Somebody talk black to me. All right, Instagram, come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Instagram, I got to use this device. Thank you so much. FlyNubianQueenTV.com. By the way, family, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, black family, at Vicky X Dillard. You do not want to miss me there. Are y'all hearing me today? Now, while I post this there, I also, again, don't forget to come on in giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like. Be sure to share. All right. I'm posting this over here really quick. And again, don't forget our store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. So I want us to think about this buttery bussy bite today. I want us to think about this buttery bussy bite. And you know, I like to give out awards about the buttery bussy bites. And the reason why we use these treats that belongs to a dog, a terrier, an animal, somebody talk black to me, is because we want to let you know that when you go get in this kind of award, you lowered yourself to a savage and a beast. Shout out to you, Shanty, for your gift. You have lowered yourself into a savage or a beast. Why? Because we understand that when you want to reinforce a certain type of behavior in a dog, you tell him to do what? To sit. But you incentivize the dog with the treat. And Negroes, butter biscuits, coons, Sambos, somebody talk black to me, the hell, bones and biscuits, they respond similarly. They respond similarly. And it's a shame. So I'm going to have to go beyond the buttery bussy bites. This is what we call them today. Shout out to you, James. I bless your gift 1,000-fold, beloved. We're going to go beyond that today. Today's situation is so egregious that I'm going to have to go further. And I want to let you know that the work of Black media, the work of mothers and fathers, the work of the Black family, the work of Black society is far from done. Why? Because these individuals, like this Black birdwatcher, his behavior lets us know that our job here is not done. We're going to have to get rid of that malware in our thinking, that it is our job to cape and to defend and to protect white folk from themselves. It's a new day, baby. We're not doing that anymore. We're not even about that life. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now watch this. In case you forgot, not too long ago, this white woman screaming hysterically. Why? What set her off? Was it because somebody snatched her purse? Was it because somebody was trying to assault her? No, baby. Somebody simply asked her to put her dog on the leash. She took offense to someone politely asking that she put her dog on a leash, who was supposed to be on a leash according to the postings and the policy, the rules of the park. She took offense to that. Again, you're seeing this rebellious nature of these white supremacists. They act out when they're told what to do. Somebody say sit. Somebody say sit. In case you've forgotten,
please don't come close to me. Please.
This was the incident. Let me turn it for you.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And I'm
me.
taking pictures calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in a ramble, and there's a man, African-American, who has a bicycle helmet, He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the bramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the bramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay. In case you all forgot what went on. That was the situation. It was so serious. He knew something was going down. He started to record. And you just witnessed the frame up. Somebody say the frame up. You just witnessed this terrorist activate white supremacist systems to possibly arrest, prosecute, sentence this fella to prison if he didn't get murdered or shot or injured on the way. Could have messed up his career, his livelihood, may have lost his home, possibly some of his other property or vehicle, whatever the situation. Notwithstanding that, this little buttery bussy bite, let's get into it. Let me read you the latest. According to this New York Post, don't forget this is a black bird watcher. Somebody say the bird watchers. Can I get some birds in the chat? Get some birds. Stop. New York Post just put out a piece saying bird watcher not cooperating with investigation into Central Park Karen Amy Cooper. Her name is Amy Cooper. I said the wrong name the first. What did I say? I forgot what I said the girl name was. But anyway, this Amy, also known as Karen, also known as Becky. Anyway, Amy Cooper. But this bird watcher, this black bird watcher, y'all better talk black to me. This buttery bussy bite. According to this piece, it says that the man at the center of the Central Park Karen fiasco has said he will not cooperate with the Manhattan District Attorney's investigation, according to a new report. Christian Cooper told the New York Times on Tuesday that Amy Cooper, 41, watch this, has suffered enough since the May encounter that destroyed her career and reputation. Listen to that phrase, that destroyed. They only use the word destroy when they're talking about Osama bin Laden or something. With all the lies that surrounds that. Christian Cooper told the New York Times, let me go back here. Let me skip down here. Amy Cooper was charged on Monday. Somebody talk black to me. She was charged on Monday with falsely reporting an incident in the 3rd degree. Somebody say charged. Lord have mercy, that makes sense. Holding court today, it makes sense that we charge you. This terrorist. This terrorist. Amy Cooper was charged Monday with falsely reporting an incident in the 3rd degree. On the one hand, she already paid, quote, this is a quote from this buttery bussy bite. This is a quote from him. This is a quote from him. This is the quote from Christian Cooper. Is that what his name is? On the one hand, she's already paid a steep price. Christian, 57, told the paper, referring to the criminal charge. Quote, that's not enough of a deterrent to others? He's asking a question right there. That's not enough of a deterrent to others? The avid bird watcher added, bringing her more misery just seems like piling on. Boy, if you don't see, this is what I'm talking about. Some of you Negroes don't believe fat meat is greasy. Some of you don't actually believe we're at war. It's tolerable for you the George Floyd murder. Christian Cooper, that's tolerable for you. Ahmaud Arbery being hunted down by predators, that was tolerable for you to watch that. You can digest Black Death. But God forbid, Massa. Miss Ann, put Miss Ann at risk. He can't let it go down like that. He feels that's too much to ask. What leads up to the unjust murder and torture of Black folks? You all do understand that George Floyd was tortured. Ahmaud Arbery was tortured leading up to their murder. Watch this. That's tolerable for these treasonous Negroes. See, I can't fool with this kind of weather. Yes, I called him the weather. Would anybody like to forecast what the weather is? What I mean by the weather when it comes down to Christian Cooper? Shout out to you, Williams and Simons, for your gift. Says, miss you, Queen. So appreciated. I miss you back. I love you back, beloved. So glad as you all come in, keep giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and share. What's the weather, family? Would anybody like to help me forecast the weather? I don't fool with this kind of weather. Adina April, I think Adina got it. Adina put a drop in a raindrop in there. Would anybody like to forecast this weather? It's moisture outside today. Keep listening. The avid bird watcher added, bringing her more misery just seems like piling on. Quote, so if the DA feels the need to pursue charges, he should pursue charges, but he can do that without me, he added. He said, adding that greater principles are at stake. What greater principles? See, you gotta watch these bird watches. Did y'all hear what I said? Notice they didn't call him a Black man. Notice the article is titled Bird Watcher Not Cooperating with the Investigation into Central Park Karen Amy Carr. See, that's the problem. It's not that it's a Black man. It's the bird watcher. It's the watching of the birds. It's the problem. Somebody stop me. We gotta watch these bird watchers. Remember when I did the show some time back and I showed you, let y'all listen to a clip or read you a part of a clip? I think he was on Don Lemon's show or something. He's sitting his funny looking self up there talking about acting like all of the visibility that he got actually had something to do with him. This ain't got nothing to even do with you, fool. This is about the collective, Christian Cooper. Now, based on information and belief, he's a part of these intersectional groups and stuff. He's a part of these intersectional groups. And sometimes when you have these allegiances to all these other kinds of people, instead of being Black first, you become compromised. And those different allegiances threatens to overshadow the central issue of the near 5-century torment, torture, and justice claim of Black people. But you got to watch these bird watchers. I don't fool with this kind of weather. Can I get some umbrellas? I do not fool with this kind of weather in war. So the bussification process is pretty strong. The buttery bussy bite butter biscuification process, it's deep. Shout out to you, Silent D Production. It's so serious today that it is not enough for me to simply show you the box of the buttery bussy. Today demands. Let me talk black to me. It demands for Christian. I can't just show the box. This thing smells funny. I gotta actually go in the box and give you the biscuit. This bussy bite. Buttery bussy bite. We gotta break open the box today. God, today. Sit. Shout out to you, AW, for your very gracious gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. If you're watching us on one of our other platforms, we want you to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. See, I had to bust open the box today. This is a thorough bussy. I'm not playing with y'all. And you ought not to be playing with this situation either, because we're at war. And the judge, Tammy Kemps, that go about giving our killers Bibles, rubbing them, hugging them. The Slane's brother, Botham Jean's brother, Brent Jean, telling our tormentors, our killers, the terrorists of black people, I don't even want you to do any jail time. I love you like I love everybody else. Asking the judge, Your Honor, can I give her a hug? Please, please, asking her twice until he ran into her arms and held her like it was his woman. God bless our family, the mother Emmanuel 9 victims, but their family and some of the survivors had the nerve to attend Dylan Roof's bond hearing, I believe it was. And all of the ones that testified all sat their funny looking selves, bless their little funny looking hearts, up there talking about, we forgive you. One lady said, as we told you during service, we enjoyed you in the service. And then the white judge that presided over his case had the nerve talking about how it's been difficult also on Dylan Roof's family. Even the white judge put that out there on the record, that there's two families, there's two different situations, two different families that's at stake. And then we got this. I don't fool with this kind of weather. In war, this utter weakness puts the black collective at risk. Did y'all hear what I just said? Did you all hear what I said? In war, this kind of behavior puts us all at risk. Shout out to you, Erica. Your deputy friends who works in prisons loves my videos. Oh, thank you. Please tell your deputy friend who works in the prisons, thank you so much for tuning in. We know you come on, somebody talk black to me. We appreciate their support of the Vicky Show. Watch this, family. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Don't forget, family. Don't forget, text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when some of us go live from time to time. Thank you so very much. My name is Vicky Dillard. I'm typically here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch this. Gotta watch these bird watchers. What are we supposed to do with him in war? Who needs enemies, family? When we got black folks, so-called friends like that. Who needs an enemy? And this is a strong bussy. I mean, the spirit of bussy is strong on him. Thorough bussy. Shout out to all of you that are giving. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Watch this. I cannot endorse that kind of madness. Not in this time, not in this day. You know I love my black brothers and sisters. But when you put us at risk, and when you know better, because remember, if you remember my previous show, he's actually a writer. Apparently he wrote for some kind of an LGBTQ magazine or so. Based on information and belief, he's got him a little, white board for him and stuff. He's a little swirl or whatever. Okay, that's okay. Sure. But Negroes, quit acting like our situation is like anybody else's. You just nonchalant about our murder. The things that precipitate our death. I need some turtles. Your slowness. Your slowness to recognize the true nature of our open enemy is fatal. Did y'all hear what I said? Your slowness is deadly. We are dealing with not just a global pandemic of COVID-19, both the truth and the lies of COVID-19. How many of y'all know I keep talking about over and over again how black folks' COVID-19 problems are not the same as white folks' COVID-19? I told you over and over again, black folks are affected by the truth and the lie of COVID-19. But that's not the only pandemic we are dealing with. Rather, let's just call it this epidemic of Becky's. These South terrorists that have been unleashed against us. So somebody needs to send Christian Cooper all of my videos so that he can quarantine in this coon rehab. Just let me scream and holler for about 3-4 days. Don't come out the room. Get all your shakes out. Let your temperature do what it needs to do and stuff. Vomit it out. Release it out in whatever way that it needs to come out. But somebody needs to let Christian Cooper know, look, we love you. Let Vicky holler at you. Listen to a marathon of the Vicky Show and get you healed up. But there's some other questionable things that's going on, Black family. You all know we do things to make it palatable in terms of some of the things that we're going through in war, right? Watch this. I've had my disagreements. For example, with Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, I've appreciated some of his work from years ago when I used to see him go at it on TV and some of the stuff that he was doing before that. That's how I first learned of who a Dr. Boyce was many, many years ago. Never knew in a million years that I would actually work with Dr. Boyce and some of his platforms. But after that time, I came to know of Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, Black scholar. He's done some, I was proud of some of the little stuff he was doing and stuff, the little clips of him on Fox News and stuff. And then I started to have some little problems with him here and there, like when, after Dr. Francis Cress Welsing died, Mark Lamont Hill, he disrespected our sister. I don't even think she was buried yet when he attacked our sister. Then he got on my nerves when I realized he wrote a piece about Malcolm X asking, is Malcolm X gay? Okay, we had to work through that. Okay, fine. Then there was a situation about a year or so ago where some questionable stuff was going on social media, and then based on information and belief, he, called himself trying to either diss or distance himself from Minister Farrakhan, and then he tried to clean it up. But anyway, we know the truth. Okay. So I've been really trying to give Mark Lamont Hill the benefit of the doubt, but I don't like this kind of weather. The forecast is moisture. I don't fool with that kind of weather. When Black folks are dealing with serious stuff, you are conveying weakness to our open enemy. You are making us more vulnerable. And we got to take that serious. Watch this. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So, Black media put this out. And I want y'all to watch this. I want you to watch this clip. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. He's in academia. Y'all got a lot of professors and all that kind of stuff out there. Let me tell y'all something, family. No disrespect, but there are limits to academia. And some of y'all so-called intelligence, y'all get up there and get a little bit of knowledge and stuff, and that thing don't even work right. It's like the knowledge that you get, it inverts. Y'all start to wax poetic with foolishness. You try to make sense of the senseless. And then you try to make evil fair seeming all at the same time. So while I'm talking about this black bird watcher, because you got to watch these bird watchers. Got to watch these bird watchers. So when I saw this on Black Media today, this clip of Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, keep in mind what Dr. Mark Lamont Hill is going to say it's in connection with this thorough bussy we're dealing with today. Watch this. I'm cueing it right now.
Few times.
Watch this.
This is one of the few times where white people.
With all of the books behind him. All the books behind him.
A few times where white people are being forced to pay the price for the manipulation of whiteness against us. I get it. But I'm going to say something that y'all might not like. It ain't justice. For the last couple of months, we are calling for abolition in a very public way. We are calling for the abolition of prisons. We're calling for the abolition of police. We are daring to dream of a world without police and prisons. And now we're calling for this woman to be locked up for something. Now, let me be very clear. We are not in an abolitionist moment yet. And so black people need some sense of justice. That's why we call for cops to be locked up, not because we believe in prison, but because we want them to have some kind of penalty when they kill us. We don't believe that cash bail works, but sometimes we want cops to pay a higher cash bail simply because we want the state to show that our lives are worth something to them. I get it. But if we are really going to do the work of abolition, we have to begin not just dreaming of a world without police and prisons. We also have to begin to, it's one of the few times where white people are being...
What? What are you talking about abolition and not calling for prisons? To all of you black elites who think you're elites, who they call y'all elites. Only those two people that's in your circle is calling for the abolition of prisons. We're calling for the abolition of prisons for black people. People who behave as untamed and undomesticated, who appear to belong in a cave. Nobody is not calling for them not to go into them. We're different. There's no comparison with us. Mark, who told you that black folk, we was imagining a world without, come up out there. What are you talking about? Nobody who means none of the black grassroots, nobody in real black society is calling for, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's not justice? To demand the prosecution of white people calling the cops and framing us. What are you talking about? I don't like this kind of weather. I don't like this kind of weather. This moisture, this moisture and dew. It's forecasting of dew. Moisture and condensation. I don't like this kind of weather. And some of you that don't know the thorough history of some of these individuals, you might be saying, oh my God, I can't believe Vicky's saying this. It's because you haven't been keeping up. Your sister has watched and observed thoroughly. I was their cheerleaders. I was Mark Lamont Hill's cheerleader. Until I wasn't. God, today. I stopped cheering so loud when you went after Minister Farrakhan and you tried to play it off like it didn't. Then you beat up on our dead black elder, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, may she rest in power. Then you wrote a piece on Malcolm X talking about is Malcolm X gay. It was hard for me to get, okay. And now you're sitting here with your pedagogy that don't make no sense, that white folks taught you in them schools and stuff. Vicky, who is not a professor with a doctorate degree, I'm pleased to challenge challenge your wisdom. You all do know that a lot of CNN and MSNBC people who some of them preemptively block me. These people block me. People, I don't, they watching the Vicky show. And they are particularly disturbed and angered by what I spit. I don't cuss nobody out. I don't troll anybody. I just do my best to ask incisive questions, and I just get to the point. But I challenge your wisdom. Some of them engage in a type of mental and academic, I'm not going to use the word, but when you get that particular feeling after you've been with your lover, some of them engage in these types of chit chats among themselves, thinking that they sound very wise, when really you sound so incredibly foolish. I don't like this kind of weather. If you can stand to listen to it again, listen again. And just before I hit play again, thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. Thank you so much for tuning into the Vicky Show. I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Typically, sometimes I go early. Just make sure that you check the network on a regular basis. Also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and that you hit receive all notifications, because there are other queens that are on some of these networks, and I don't want you to miss what they got going on. Listen again. Mark Lamont Hill talking about it's not justice for us to be pushing for white folks to be charged for filing false reports. Watch this.
Times where white people are being forced to pay the price for the manipulation of whiteness against us. I get it, but I'm going to say something that y'all might not like. It ain't justice. For the last couple of months, we are calling for abolition in a very public way. We are calling for the abolition of prisons. We're calling for the abolition of police. We are daring to dream of a world without police and prisons. And now we're calling for this woman to be locked up.
Now let's cut that out. No. Listen again to what he says, y'all.
Calling for this woman to be locked up for something. We are calling for the abolition of prisons. We're calling for the abolition of police. We are daring to dream of a world without police and prisons.
No, we're not. We're calling for the abolition of police and prisons for Black people. We're saying those of us that have been walking amongst our tormentors for all of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, for us who were kidnapped and snatched and brought here, there's no such thing as a prison for us, Mark, for us, Becky and Ken. They're not us, Mark. Who told you that, Mark? To some of the MSNBC folks that like to block me all the time, and your other people that y'all think is strong and smart and popular and stuff, listen, send them this link and tell them you got it wrong. Power in this season is coming from the ground up. I said power in this season, wisdom in this season, unity, organization, insight is coming from the ground up. It's coming from the grassroots. Mark, what are you talking
about? We are calling for abolition in a very public way. We are calling for the abolition of prisons. We're calling for the abolition of police. We are daring to dream of a world without police and prisons. And now we're calling for this woman to be locked up for something. Now, let me be very clear.
Yes, fool. Yes, weather. Yes, we're calling for this woman to be locked up. Yes, that's what you do for untamed folk that act as savages.
We are not in an abolitionist moment yet. And so Black people need some sense of justice. That's why we call for cops to be locked up, not because we believe in prison, but because we want them to have something.
No, we believe in prisons for cops, for real. Who told you that, Mark? Somebody white told you that. Come up out of that. What is Revelation? What did the ancestors tell us? What did but you don't partake of their plates. What you say don't even make no sense. Professor, what you're saying makes no sense. To people that set our bodies on fire, that's lynching us today, that's destroying Black families, that's creating conditions where Black folks turn in on themselves and they themselves start to behave as the enemy against each other, poisoning our waters, poisoning our foods. Are you crazy, fool? You mean to tell me you're saying that we're not calling for that? No, we are. We don't know what you're talking about.
A penalty when they kill us. In an abolitionist moment yet. And so Black people need some sense of justice. That's why we call for cops to be locked up, not because we believe in prison, but because we want them to have some kind of penalty when they kill us. We don't believe that cash bail works, but sometimes we want cops to pay a higher cash bail simply because we want the state to show that our lives are worth something to them. I get it. But if we are really going to do the work of abolition, we have to begin not just dreaming of a world without police and prisons. We also have to begin to engage times when white people are being forced to pay the price for the manipulation.
It is written, family, about the blind leading the blind. When you have the blind leading the blind, what will happen, family? You both end up in a ditch. This kind of chit-chat will lead you in a ditch. Now I want to say something too. This bird watching. This funny looking self. Where you at? I want to say something about this bird watcher. Look at him. Just look like he watch a bird. This bird watcher. One part of the article, it says this avid bird watcher. This bird watcher. And to Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, let me say something to you. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, he's real strong about the rights of all these other intersectional groups and organizations. So is this little Christian Cooper, based on what we've researched and learned about him. And that's your business. Watch this. You guys are the same ones that talk about, watch this, believe women. How many of you all heard those kinds of liberal types say believe all women? In most cases, when they're talking about, they're really talking about white women that makes accusations against sicko, perverted white men. And so a white woman comes up 30, 40, 50 years later, like I think Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, I want to say he went after Bill Cosby too. Go figure. But these are the ones that pile on about Bill Cosby. I'm wondering if Mark Hill is calling for the release, the immediate release of Bill Cosby. I'm wondering if Mark Lamont Hill is saying that it was unjust that Bill Cosby had to do 1 day in prison. Not based on rape. That's not what he was sentenced for, by the way. But these are the same people that say believe all women. Let me say something to you. Some of these same people tell you, you don't believe women when the women come forward. We should take the women's claims serious. Let me say something to you. If you can fix your lips to say believe all women, and you can fix your lips to say when a woman comes forward and she's telling you she's being sexually harassed or sexually assaulted by a man and that something needs to be done about it. Dr. Mark, Christian Cooper, the bird watcher. Do you tell that white woman who's claiming somebody touched her booty 49 years ago, she shouldn't come forward and demand a punishment for alleged sexual assault? Make it make sense. Oh, but if it comes down to holding these individuals that are used to being seen as victims, when you start to punish these soft terrorists and treat them like the terrorists and the criminals that they are, watchers. And professors start showing up talking about, we don't believe in prisons. Fool, we're talking about for us. Black life, there is no comparison. We believe in prison for them. And some of us believe in the death penalty for them. The pussy is strong in some of these thorough pussies. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Keep liking and sharing. I'm determined to get done at a reasonable time today. Watch this. It's not just about you, Christian Cooper, bird watcher. Slowness is not just about what you think. Christian Cooper, you have to understand that because your situation got so much attention, somebody reminded me of this earlier today. I saw it from Black Media on Twitter earlier today. They was reminding us, some of the reports were saying that Christian Cooper, the video that Christian Cooper recorded of this white woman who threatened him, they say it wasn't even him that put it out initially. I'm told that a family member initially put it out. Watch this. Your circumstances and situations got so much attention, the world was watching. And so while the world is watching in this war on Black people, and during this time, Christian Cooper of Holy Uprising, now that she's been charged since the murder of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, and while we're still demanding justice for Breonna Taylor and the other nameless Breonna Taylors and Ahmaud Arbery's and Rayshard Brooks at Wendy's, you say this in the height of this holy uprising? Think about the post-slave syndrome, how deeply affected and infected his mind is, how sick, how extraordinarily sick their minds have to be, that during this time where we're demanding justice, they are retreating and committing treason against the Black nation. I know apparently you shaking, the coon in you is shaking, the slave in you is shaking. I got a rehab for the coons. I'm here to heal the coon. I said I'm here to heal the coon and the bussy. At a time where our voices have reached a fever pitch and we've sparked a global revolution, a global moment, you've got these buttery bussy bites. Conveying weakness. When you convey such weakness while the whole world is watching you, you are giving our predators permission to continue to prey upon us. I've told you this before. I'll tell you again. Somebody please send the link to Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. Please send the link to the bird watcher. Send it to the bird watcher. I know this may not sound like high sounding wisdom, but I'm going to give you an analogy that I've often mentioned on this show. In fact, it was a revelation in the middle of one of my shows. May not sound, I don't want you to miss the profundity of the moment, Professor. Watch this. Not even a dog respects a coward. I'll give you some wisdom right now. Not even a dog respects a coward. When a rabid dog comes up to you, the first thing you do is not start screaming and shaking and quaking. We're told that dogs can sense fear. So the more weakness or the more fear you show, it does not make the dog less likely to attack you. The more weakness, Professor and bird watcher, it's the watching of the birds. It's the watching of the birds. the more likely your open enemy will continue to attack you. Have you noticed the more we say we forgive you? Have you noticed the more we say we're just alike? Have you noticed the more you've demanded that nothing be done for Black murder, the more you continue to be mowed down? Because the problem is you're dealing with the problematic nature of a people who have been consistent. And they're manifested savage behaviors against us in an intense manner for at least 5 centuries. Somebody talk Black to me. So contrary to this weather, let me just say this before I do that. I started looking at, y'all gonna be like, Vicky, Lord have mercy. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Don't forget our business school at flynubianbusiness.com. If you want to learn how to start a Black business, that's flynubianbusiness.com. Somebody please put it in the chat. And don't forget to check out our store at shopfnq.com. Let me take a quick sip of water from the mug, actually, that I got at that store. And by the way, you can follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky and follow me on my Facebook fan page at Vicky Dillard. Watch this. Watch this. It's all this buck breaking. When we talk about buck breaking, it's about weakening the Black man so that he does not rise up in time of war. It is so that he can be weak. Watch this. I was watching some video clips earlier today. I know y'all like Vicky is corny, but it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. I was watching a video clip earlier today about fish. When I saw this Christian Cooper, I was just so, when I think about the Terry Cruzes of the world and the Christian Coopers, this birdwatcher and stuff, and those of their ilk, those like them, I was just trying to, it's like, what does this remind me of? And it reminded me of fishing. Fishing. What do you mean, Vicky? Black family, while we are engaged in our prophetic exodus, we're transitioning from the place of bondage to our promised land. Watch this. Do not forget it's written. And this is a principle for us to keep in mind, that some of the ones that were in bondage in Egypt, when it was time for the Exodus, they got mad at Moses and Aaron. And they rose up against Moses and Aaron and threatened to actually go back to bondage. Not everybody wants to go to the promised land. And so it's written that the God, the supreme being, he wasn't worried about them going to the promised land either. In fact, God was saying, kill them all. But it was Moses' intercession that stayed back the hand of God from outright murdering the people that he was to deliver, that just delivered, because they started to murmur and complain about the road to freedom. Watch this. So some of you that keep saying, well, don't attack other Black people. I'm not attacking Black people. I'm dealing with enemies. I'm not even referring to them as Black. Keep in mind that during the Exodus, that not everybody wanted to be free. So it's not going to be, we don't need everybody. People that don't want to go back. But back to fishing. Back to fishing. What does got to do with fishing? I started thinking about fishing. Watch this. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Again, if you're watching us on one of our other platforms, make sure that you share and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Watch this. Fishing. Why did Christian Cooper remind you of fish? Well, I started to think about, we don't need everybody. And so I started to think about images of fishermen throwing back fish. Watch this. So I began to inquire, what are some of the reasons why, when folks are fishing, why do they throw back certain fish? Y'all play too much. So I started to watch some instructions specifically about this rainbow trout. Didn't even know a trout like called rainbow existed. But in that prophetic rainbow trout, God today, about the weather and stuff, about the weather and rainbow trout and weather and rainbow trout. Y'all catching it? God is my witness. I was watching this thing, and the man said these, but when I was watching him fool with this fish, it was about rainbow trout. God is my witness. It was rainbow trout. I didn't even know rainbow trouts existed. So the rainbow trout, that's the name of the trout, rainbow trout. This fish. So I started thinking about, why do people throw back the fish? Some people have hit their limit of catches to keep. Do y'all understand that? So they release subsequent catches. So some of them reach their limits of the number of fish that they're supposed to get right, that they can keep. So they throw back some catches. Or the fish that they caught doesn't meet the minimum size or weight in order to keep it. So the fisherman releases it. That's what I was thinking about these buttery pussy pies. Baby, I just throw you back in the water. We can throw you. You don't even need to come with us. We will throw just like we will throw a fish back because we've had our limits. Somebody talk black to me. Our limits of catches. We will throw you back. You want to be over there when the judgment goes down? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But don't hinder us. Throw you back in the water. Your brittle self. But then something happened on the 4th of July that just made me feel so much better while I was getting this together. Somebody talk black to me. I just automatically this particular thing that went down just made all of this make a whole lot of sense. When I learned about this black militia, NFAC, that just showed up. Now, mind you, I have so much respect for the Nation of Islam, the beautiful standing army that is the FOI, Fruit of Islam. And our sisters don't play either. I've seen numerous examples, a history of decades and decades of serving the black community, being responsible for lowering crime and increasing peace in neighborhoods. Watch this. So to see other organizations, even though they differ, rise up in terms of making to defend black people. Anytime I see all these law abiders, somebody say law abiders, it just makes everything make sense for me. So when I watched this clip and I learned that NFAC, this black militia group, marched on this Confederate. Hold on, let me get it. Monument, Georgia Stone Mountain Confederate Monument. I said, this is the kind of weather. Let me give it another forecast. I like the kind of weather I like is the heat. In war, I can't fool too much with the dew and the moisture and the condensation. I'm speaking in code. Now ask me what kind of weather I like. This is the kind of weather I like right here.
Black power.
Watch this. Somebody say law abiders. Somebody say law abiders. These are all these law abiders, these black law abiders. Watch this. Do you remember a show I did not too long ago? Where black armed security escorted this black female lawmaker, I believe it was Michigan, into the Michigan Capitol because a whole bunch of white supremacists were there with military weapons prior to. And our sister and others like her were feeling threatened? Do you remember what I told you? When you see an armed truck, what is that an indication of, family? Oh, somebody talk black to me. These law abiders. What did I tell you? When you see an armed truck, what is that typically a sign of, family? Not the KKK. A money truck. Let me help you today. A money truck. What is that normally a sign of? Money, yes. Value. That's exactly right. It lets you know that there's something valuable, something worthy of protection. And whether or not you choose to be armed like that or not, it's important that you are aware that for Black people, we have got to defend ourselves. Organized protection. And just like when you see typically armed men in an armored truck, it's a sign of something that's valuable inside the truck. So is the Black nation. One of the main reasons why our Black cities and towns were destroyed was because we did not have the proper defense and organized protection in place. Somebody talk Black to me. This Black militia says something so interesting. I want you to listen to something that they said here in this news article. Somebody talk Black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. It's a new day, Black family. It's the changing of the gods. I said it's the changing of the gods. Not everybody is scared. The reason why they want you to be so excited when you see a Black man in a skirt with pink on, skinny jeans. Somebody talk Black to me. It's because they know that he will be utterly useless in war. I know y'all are tired of me talking about this particular reality, but I won't stop. The State Department, when the State Department under Donald Trump announced a new $600,000 taxpayer-funded study that suggests ideals of masculinity, a taxpayer-funded study on the ideals of masculinity in boys, Black boys and men. And how many of you all remember the Department of Bureau of Counterterrorism? They were seeking a nonprofit group to do what? To explore what? Gender identities of boys and men. The grant proposal stated that they were going to be studying Black men who were what? Specifically in Kenya, those who were what? Tough, heterosexual. This is your government. I'm quoting from your government here. The grant proposal, the areas of study. Black men who were tough, heterosexual, aggressive, unemotional, and achieving. These are things that your U.S. government is studying in Black men abroad using your very Black taxpayer dollars so that they can turn around and use that information that they learned from that study against you to disarm and disable you. Who are they concerned about? It's not Christian Cooper. It's those that are tough, heterosexual, aggressive, unemotional, and achieving. That's a quote from the State Department's Bureau of Counterterrorism. You got that right, Monica G. Monica said that's a warrior profile. That's exactly right. This is another sign of a new nation that's rising, even though some of us don't have guns and so forth, but we believe in defending ourselves. And we plan accordingly. And others that are law abiders, that have the right to, based on the Second Amendment of the United States of America, to be armed. No disrespect to the bird watcher. But what he said, his thinking. Listen again to what the bird watcher said and compare that to this black militia. Before I go back to read what he said, let me get back to this. But I wanted to read you this quote from them in the first place. This is from sun.com. Watch what it says. Watch how they labeled it here. From this news article. Black Power. Hundreds of heavily armed black protesters marched through park demanding Confederate monument be removed. And I love the fact that they did it on July 4th. I told y'all I didn't get a chance to do this story right away. I was on Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's garden and farm in the Midwest. Watch this. It talks about how hundreds of protesters descended on Georgia's Stone Mountain Park's Confederate Memorial, a well-known gathering spot for white supremacists, including the Ku Klux Klan. Watch the name of it, the NFAC. It means the Not Effing Around Coalition. God, today. Notice how they're not trying to be professorial. They're not trying to be diplomatic. See, when your open enemy shows you their nature, Mark Lamont Hill, you talking about you don't even want a jail for them. You sound like Brant Jean. You sound like Botham Jean's brother who told Amber Geiger he didn't even want her to do a day in jail, and we're wondering why they're still blowing their heads off. Some of us believe in consequences for people that behaves, that acts like an untamed beast. NFAC stands for Not Effing Around Coalition. They're not even trying to be, we're too far along in the water to be playing with y'all. Marched around, watch this. Stone Mountain carvings depicts where they were at this in Georgia, this monument. The Stone Mountain carvings depicts General Robert E. Lee, Confederate President Jefferson Davis, and General Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson mounted on horseback. The carving was commissioned by the segregationist officials in Georgia in 1958 and completed in 1972, according to Reuters. It is the largest Confederate monument in the world. I said the black militia showed up as a sign and a wonder to what's considered to be what the largest Confederate monument in the world. Somebody black. Grandmaster Jay, founder of the group called the Not Effing Around Coalition. See, beasts understand that. God, today. They understand a title like Not Effing Around. Oh, okay. When you're dealing with somebody that's a mankind that acts other than a man, they're a kind of a man. Your niceties, your forgiveness, you letting them come all in. They don't understand that, but Not Effing Around Coalition. God, today. Watch this. Grandmaster Jay, founder of the group, spoke to Newsweek via phone on Sunday and said that the militia members at Stone Mountain on Saturday were 100% black. The founder also said, watch this. The founder also said that the group are not affiliated with the Black Lives Matter. Somebody say, thank God for that. And by the way, white mainstream media is getting on my nerves by acting like everybody that's been showing up and that's been resisting during this holy uprising is Black Lives Matter. That's just something easy for white folks to say. They can handle all the LGBT intersectional stuff that go along with that Black Lives Matter stuff. Yes, we believe in the saying Black Lives Matter, but we're not a part of that little group and coalition that y'all are trying to cram us into. Anyway, thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. Again, if you're watching us on one of our other platforms, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching us in another time, in another time zone, we're so pleased that you've tuned into the Vicky Show right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Don't forget that we have a school at FlyNubianBusiness.com to learn how to build a Black business in your side hustle and learn about economics and finances. And also check out our store at ShopFNQ.com. Please put it in the chat. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Vicky X Dillard. Listen. He says, we are a Black militia. Watch what he says. We aren't protesters. We aren't demonstrators. We don't come to sing. We don't come to chant. That's not what we do, he told the house. No disrespect. All of those different groups have their little jobs and stuff. But what we know about white supremacists, they're not worried about protesters or demonstrators, are they? And people that sing. He said, we don't do that. He says, we're a Black militia. Somebody say, these are law abiders. Somebody say, these are law abiders, old school law abiders. And watch this. How many of you all have been hearing about an onslaught of alleged, and you all know I hate this phrase, Black on Black crime, but you've been hearing about an onslaught of a lot of Black on Black crime all at once in like Atlanta and Chicago. Watch this. Did you all know that the NFAC was the main ones that was calling for the murder of one of those young babies in Atlanta? Do you all understand that the Nation of Islam, when they were going into communities without weapons, still serving as an effective military, standing army, as it were, for lack of a better word, because we are no doubt the Black nation. Is that right, family? They managed to drive crime down, and they were driving the drug addicts out. So they started to do it full time. They even had governmental contracts. Do you all know that your U.S. government, your U.S. Congress snatched the contracts from the dope busters who were effective in the Black community? Do you all know that we do need to condemn any traitorous Negro that's murdering our Black family? But the collective Black family is not murdering Black people. These Black lone wolves cannot be compared to the nation to a whole nation and multiple systems of white supremacy actively working against Black people, who also created the conditions of these Black traitors that may be murdering some of our people. Why are you bringing all these different things up? Some folks in Black media told you before this even happened that during this exact time, watch how there's going to be an onslaught of alleged Black on Black crime. How can we definitively say that, number one, when we haven't even caught most of the assailants? There is a picture of at least one of them, I think. And some of the Black militia is calling for that individual to be brought in. The Black collective does not tolerate that. You had the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan many years ago call that out and let you know how your open enemy is using us against each other. The Black collective is not for that. We've been calling it out. And you've had organizations that might not be in the spotlight, but they've been working very effectively behind the scenes. The same way when we were calling for whoever murdered our brother Nipsey Hussle. I heard our brother talk about this. They were demanding that the killer of Nipsey Hussle come forward. When we found out who he was, then guess what? We found out about him. We found out that this brother has bona fide, based on belief and information, what? Ties to being a snitch in what appears to be multiple situations with law enforcement. Why am I bringing this up? This is another reason why I strongly believe that the systems of white supremacy are at work even amongst Black malefactors who are an aberration. They're not the rule. They are the random black folks, black individuals that may be killing their own people. We've been calling for them to be brought in, baby. I bring that up to say, why is it that your government attacks the Minister Louis Farrakhan's, snatches the contracts from effective black men and women in organizations that know how to police their own communities? And why is it that white mainstream media, why isn't Rachel Maddow, why isn't Chris Cuomo, why isn't Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham bragging about these law-abiding militia that wants to police their own communities, and they're calling for those that murder our people to come forward? That lets you know that they're at work in the murder of our own people. All these unsolved black murders. And these people, these types of individuals that police black communities are the ones that white media is demonizing. Y'all don't care about us. You're complicit. You created these monsters. That's how we know something else is afoot in these so-called black on black murders. Because white America is quiet about it. White America is not endorsing black folks who are policing their own communities and who are calling for these folk to be brought in. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. Watch this. Many were wearing what appeared to be bulletproof vests, and most were wearing protective face masks. One man in the video could be heard saying Black Power, while another says Black Love, Black Love. Our initial goal was to have a formation of our militia in Stone Mountain to send a message that as long as you're abolishing all these statues across the country, what about this one? Stone Mountain Memorial Associate Spokesman John Bankhead told WXIA-TV that the protesters were peaceful. It's a public park, a state park. We have these protests on both sides of the issue from time to time. We respect people's First Amendment right, he said. We understand the sensitivities of the issue here at the park, so we respect that and allow them to continue to come in as long as it's peaceful. Yeah, y'all know, y'all speak that language real good. Somebody talk back to me. You get some act right in you when the NFAC. Somebody talk black to me. See, I can deal with this kind of weather. FOI, I can deal with that kind of weather. We are not impressed with these unremarkable Beckys, the work that they're doing, and we're not going to let them get away with it. It's treasonous. Anybody that would disagree with holding our tormentors accountable. We'll throw you back in the water just like we would a fish. We don't need you. We don't need every black looking person to enter the promised land. You buttery bussy bites are dangerous to what black folks got going on. And I know you're in a new world where they want to normalize every single thing and make evil fair seeming. And I know some of the ones that's making it look like they're fair seeming are some of them that have the name Reverend in front of their names. You've got some of us younger generations, even though I'm 41, that has a greater standard than some of these black-faced reverends and bishops that claim to be out there about the issues of justice, but they out here all for all these intersectional groups and organizations. This is a sign of the holy uprising. Beware, family. Don't be reckless, because you understand now they're already watching them. How many of you all know that the governor, what is his name? This is the governor of Georgia, called for, who was the governor, y'all, that called for, let me pull it up here. While I'm doing that, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing, family. In Georgia. Thank you, Governor Kemp. Thank y'all. Kemp. I know I'm talking to some intelligent Black people. He called. I just want to read you what it says. Hold on. Give me a second here. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. I'm trying to pull this one up here right now. He's declaring a state of emergency. Watch this. Citing violent crime in Atlanta, Georgia governor declares state of emergency and calls up the National Guard. Watch this. I'm reading from CNN. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp on Monday declared a state of emergency and activated as many as 1,000 National Guard members. Kemp, a Republican, said the executive order follows weeks of dramatically increased violent crime and property destruction in the city of Atlanta. If you don't sit your funny looking self down, when you got Black folk and you got strong FOI, I know specifically in the Georgia area, that love to protect and look after their own people. And you've got this militia that you know full well that's calling for justice against any alleged murders against our people, especially by owner, any of you all. They don't care what color you are. But all of a sudden, in the middle of that, you're calling for the National Guard to come forward. While we're calling for the defunding of police, why don't you fund these type of law-abiding organizations to police our communities? Because we can govern ourselves. I need somebody to talk Black to me. We know what this is about. And our brother said it himself. Is this really about that, or is it about that strong Black show of force that you saw on the 4th of July at the world's largest Confederate memorial? You've got too many good and well-meaning organizations and people that are willing to do the work to police ourselves for you to bring that in. And you decided to do that after that strong show of force? Somebody talk Black to me. Black family, be wise. Understand your enemy, as it's written, roams around seeking who he may devour. Let me say this, and I'm done. Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. Listen, when you think about the utter weakness of the Christian Coopers of the world and those of his ilk, when you think about the bird watch, because you got to watch them bird watches. Watch them bird watches. Now being uncooperative in the probe against these killer Karens. Watch what he says again. This Negro says, on the one hand, she's already paid a steep price. That's not enough of a deterrent to others. So if the DA feels the need, I'm quoting him. So if the DA feels the need to pursue charges, he should pursue charges. But he can do that without me, he said. Please tell, watch this. Yeah, he can do that without me. That kind of thinking from a fellow who clearly needs to go to coon rehab. Desperately. That's a sign of the mark of the beast, Black family. I know. White folks told you that the mark of the beast is just about chips in your forehead and in your hand. so that you can't buy or sell without it, even though you have a type of chip already, even with some of your phones, and a type of chip even in some of your credit cards and so forth. But never mind that. There's a metaphysical meaning based on some of the teachings of the mark of the beast, specifically when it talks about the mark of the beast being what? In your forehead and in your right hand, right? That's Revelation chapter 13. Listen. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Some of the teaching lets us know that the mark of the beast, proof of the mark of the beast in the forehead, is about your thinking. I've been telling you this, right? This is about your mindset. The mark of the beast in your hand is about what you create, what you do. Watch this. What you're making. We can see very clearly the mark of the beast in the thinking of this brother. These wild beasts of the fields that sodomized your fathers, that raped your mothers and set their bodies on fire, that dismembered them, that chopped off the penises of your fathers, that kept body parts as souvenirs. That slowly, methodically, in just under 9 minutes, with his hands in his pocket, squeezed the very breath and the life out of our brother George Floyd, knowing he was being recorded. The McDaniels, who were responsible for the murder of our brother Ahmaud Arbery, we found were harassing and stalking him weeks and days before his actual murder. After the younger McMichael murdered him, what did he do? Did he go off his body and say, oh my God, did I kill him? Did he say, is he okay? Did he get down there to try to perform CPR? After McMichael shot him, he stood over his corpse and said, what, family? Effing nigger. This is in your day. This is in your time. The beast of the field that murdered our brother in a Wendy's parking lot. What did he do after he murdered Rashard Brooks' black family? Do you remember? He kicked his body and he said, I got him. Is that what he said? He said, I got him. In the Breonna Taylor situation, they pumped her body with at least 8 bullets under the cover of night for nothing. What did all of them in every one of those situations do? Every single one of those officers involved in some way, form, or fashion lied, tried to cover up black murder. They weren't the only ones. We find, like in the case of Breonna Taylor, they knew about, she had passed a couple of months before her case was even known to the public in the way that it was. And the same with Ahmaud Arbery. He'd already been dead a few months before we had learned about his story. The DA's office was silent and had no plans to make any charges. We find also that in some of the cases, the examiner's office, the ones that was responsible for the autopsies, lied. Somebody talk black to me. These people are impossible to get along with. Some of us are not trying to integrate with some of you all. Some of us are not just trying to get along. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, some of us are not calling for a world without prisons. For them, we're calling for a world without prisons for us because we are unlike them. We are saying that when you behave as a beast of the field, you belong in a cage, or perhaps not even on our planet at all. It's a new day. It is a new day. And Black family, you will get no credit, Christian Cooper types, for saying she suffered enough. This is not about your little itty bitty self, son. This is not about you individually, you little buttery pussy butts. This is bigger than you. And when you recognize that this is bigger than you, you don't put the Black collective at risk. And if you do, we want you to feel free to join your open enemy. And we welcome you to meet the same fate on Judgment Day, which has already begun. Thank you so much for tuning into the Vicky Show right here on FlyNewBeanQueenTV.com. Thank you so much. Again, I'm typically here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes I come on a little early for health reasons. The point is just make sure that you look for the Vicky Show every day and make sure that you subscribe and that you like and that you share. Why do we want you to subscribe, like, and share? Because I'm not the only queen here. And also hit all notifications. When you hit all notifications, you should be notified when other content comes up as well, when they send out notifications. You know, a lot of times they like to not do that for my show and sometimes shadow ban our show. But we're so grateful for tuning in on FlyNewBeanQueenTV.com. Again, we are so pleased and honored to know that our show is also aired on other platforms. If you're watching us there, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like and share, whether you're watching us here or elsewhere, no matter what time or time zone you may find us in. I can't wait to see you on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard, and please subscribe to my personal YouTube channel at VickyDillard.tv. That's VickyDillard.tv. Some of you have asked about how can you get in touch with me, what's your information, and other things. You can find all of that on my contact page at MissVickyTV.com. That's MissVickyTV.com. MissVickiTV.com. Thank you so much. It is my bliss and my joy and my honor to do what I do. I love you to pieces. Mwah.